Hello everybody, AOG Gaming here, back with another video. Quite possibly my last Outer Plane video. Yeah, I think I'm gonna speed up that quitting that I was gonna do for this game. Um, I mean, like, I've been talking about their husband thing. Like, everyone has been talking about the fact that this game has not released a single fucking male character in the last 7 months. And then people just stop talking about the game in general. So I'm at the point where I can't advocate for this game. It's not better than Blue Archive, it's not better than Nikkei when it comes to all the characters you can collect, the choices you have, and just overall completion of the game. Also the balancing. While those games may have power creep, this game is 100% based on power creep. There's only a few characters that are still valuable in terms of their original characters they released. But there's a lot of characters that you just don't use. Mainly the 1 stars and 2 stars that are completely irrelevant in this game. Only some 2 stars, which is usually just the healers, are used, right? So, like, I've gotten to the point where I just don't have fun playing the game anymore. It feels like I'm wasting my time rather than actually meaningfully grinding for something, right? Because it's very repetitive. It's the same thing over and over again. You build a team, make sure that they have enough chain point gaining so that they can do the chain skill. You go into battle, make sure that you have your AP cards active on your characters with special gear, other gear, their abilities, blah blah blah, yada yada. Certain characters will give your entire team AP. So it feels very similar. You get a damage buffing ranger, you have a striker as a mage as your main damage dealer, and then you have a healer or a defender, usually a healer, sometimes a healer and a defender, so that you can tank all the damage and support your team and keep them alive. So yeah, there's really no variation on the game, and the worst part about it is that even when they're adding new characters, they really don't do anything for the game, other than add another character that is power crept, that is technically better than a lot of the other characters that, yes, you want to pull for, but realistically, they're going to be power crept in a couple of updates as well. And don't even get me started on the Demiurge characters, right? That the fact that they made them insanely broken. So, I think I have to quit the game. Even if it was free to play friendly at one point, it has pretty much lost all of that, and it's gotten to the point where, yeah, it's free to play viable, but you're just playing a waifu game. This is not a gacha game, this is a waifu game. And the fact that the company didn't explicitly state that they were going to do this is the reason why this game died as well. Is another reason why this game died. They pretty much decided to make this a waifu game because of the marketing alone, without telling their players explicitly. So it ended up players realizing, oh, they don't actually care about the game, they just care about making money. So Smilegate, it's 100% your fault. 100%. Now that Wuthering Waves has come out, I don't even feel like playing this game anymore. Like, every time I sign on to this game, I'm like, what am I even doing? I'm literally just playing this game because I'm doing it for the viewers. Not for the views. I don't care how many views I get on these videos. I'm doing it because I see that a lot of people are watching these videos, so they're actually, and for a decent amount, they're actually engaging and watching these videos, right? So I'm like, okay, something that people actually enjoy, so I will keep posting it. The problem is, this game is going nowhere. The company isn't doing anything with it in terms of actually fixing it, and they're not taking any of our advice. So what's happening? Oh, I don't know, the same thing that's happening in every fucking sphere of gaming. Pretty much, companies are greedy, they're not valuing the customer, they're not valuing the game, so what ends up happening is, ends up having a shitty game, shitty product, people quit. People don't care about shitty products anymore. We've understood that the baseline for all of companies and developers is literally just money. And if that's the case, we will only put our money and time, because time counts as money, where it's worth, and this game is not worth it. The time aspect may be, the money is not even the time at this point actually, because they're not adding male characters. Wuthering Waves is literally launched with one of their characters being a fucking male character. literally the character that's on rate up or the special rate up is a male spear character. Like, you don't need to release a fucking waifu for all the dweebs and fucking troglodyte sheep out there in order for a game to succeed. All of those people will not make your game succeed in any way, shape, or form. The first few income bills or whatever that you get, your checks, may show that it's doing great short term, but in reality that short term is literally 3 or 2 fucking paychecks. Everything else will start going downhill because they cannot sustain your game. They do not have infinite money. You know what does have more than enough money? Oh, I don't know, the 900,000 other players that you pretty much just sidelined because you wanted to make short money as fast as possible in the shortest amount of time. It's like companies are killing their games for no reason. I know they're like, oh, we're trying to make money, we're trying to appease our developers. Then you're not a fucking gaming company. You're just a fucking company. That's what a regular company does. Get your fucking shit together. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Your game is only gonna go downhill from here on out. Zenless Zone Zero is releasing. Wuthering Waves has released. Arknight's Enfield is fucking coming. All of these games are gacha games. Yes, they're more like Genshin, more they're AR APGs or whatever the fuck you want to call them. So they're open world, but they're still gachas. And in that term, they will overrule every other fucking gacha out there, just like Genshin Impact did, just like Honkai Star Rail did. They're both, well, Honkai Star Rail is more turn-based, but it still has the exploration thing aspect to it, right? Which still made it somewhat popular. So yeah, and it's also the fact that it's Hoyoverse making the game and they made Genshin. So yeah, it's just really sad to see a company fall down to its greed when you could be making 3 times the amount of money by just fixing the game and releasing a regular amount of characters. Because what would people do? Oh, they'd start talking about the game again. Why? Oh, because it finally got good. Like, who would have ever thought that a gacha game could be good? Like, the only example I've seen of that so far is Wuthering Waves and Blue Archive. Because they literally give you so many fucking characters, it is ridiculous. Wuthering Waves less so, but I've already gotten 2 legendaries for free. Like, what other game just gives you legendaries by just playing their game? Just daily. I don't know if Wuthering Waves is going to continue that, but if they do, they've already beat Genshin at their game. They've already beat them at the pity system. Now they're already beating them at their character collection game. Because that is one of the biggest problems with Genshin, right? All the new characters are impossible to collect unless you've been a player for a while, have a lot of resources saved up, and are able to collect them. All new players, fuck y'all. All players who've been playing for about a month, fuck y'all. That is pretty much what Genshin Impact does. That is pretty much what Hoyoverse does with their games. Hopefully Wuthering Waves does not take this direction. Hopefully, when they release a new character, at the end of each period, which is the summoning period, they just give everybody a free copy. If they do this, no other gacha company can beat them unless they do the exact same thing. It is just common fucking sense and math. People can do math now. It's a thing, you know? Not everybody is these uneducated, uncultured swine that just follow what they see because they are addicted to feeling great and the dopamine that is released in their brain when they click, scroll, and see pretty animations, right? So yeah, we can do math, companies, and we can see that your rates are shitty, the game is a waste of time, and that you are really just there to take our money away. So my advice to companies going on here on out, make your games so free-to-play friendly that they are literally free-to-play. Otherwise, the gaming industry is going to continue crashing and your games are not going to make it anywhere. They're going to be the short, quick cash grabs that literally less than a million players, less than like 500,000 players will play. It may peak at more than that, but it'll eventually fall down to less than hundreds of thousands of players because nobody's going to be willing to spend money on a game that is literally dying, isn't actually fixing its game, and is literally just making updates for whales, dolphins, leviathans, instead of making updates for the overall benefit and quality of life of the game. you know, like a normal gaming company, an actual gaming company would do. So yeah, I apologize for the negative videos. I guess my videos usually are negative, but to be fair, the whole gaming industry is kind of on a downturn right now, and it's all shitty so far. What Wuthering Waves is not that great in terms of a game either. It's a gacha game, so yeah. In terms of it being playable and having fun with it, 100%. It's still a great game in that terms. In terms of completing and actually collecting every character, that's yet to be seen, right? We got to see how much the whales spend, and if it's similar to Genshin, it should be less, right? Because the pity is less, and the weapon banners are pretty much guaranteed instead of fucking chances. And you also have like the guaranteed character tickets that they give you. So overall, I feel like I'm wasting my time in this game. That's all. That's really the baseline, right? I am wasting my time playing this game. Seriously, I'm going to play this game on the side, as I was doing Wuthering Waves, and make Wuthering Waves my main gacha. Because they're actually making a great game. They're actually trying to listen to the player base. Whereas this game has done none of that. Ever since its fucking launch. We wanted more male characters. They did that for like 1 or 2 updates, and then they stopped doing it. Why? Because they didn't see the income coming. Well, I wonder why when you have broken bosses, when you have hard to collect characters, when you have shitty pity, and then you make it worse. And then you have element gated content where if you don't have 4 characters of one element, you're not going to be having fun. Quirks do not help you that much. You need to have a full team of one element in order for quirks to help you. So, while it does change everything, like I said, this game still needs work. And have they done any of that? No. They haven't done it one bit. They haven't permanently released RTA. They haven't released more husbandos. They haven't balanced the bosses so that they're not impossible to fucking beat. Stage 12 of every boss battle is still pretty much 6-star, 6-star legendary maxed out gear with pretty much the best gems and all that stuff on your characters. In order to get 3 stars, yeah, I can beat it, but in order to get 3 stars, which is what you're supposed to do when you beat the level, so that you can automatically grind it without having to beat the battle every single time, yeah, it pretty much takes away from the whole game. And yeah, every single game mode is repetitive. There's literally nothing in this game which is not the same in terms of battle. Of course, that's pretty much every other game out. Genshin and WoW are the same. You pretty much battle the same way. The thing is, though, you have 3 different like fighting styles, and you can change your characters around. Really, this game, you're kind of stuck with the 4 elemental characters of the same element that you have. Eventually, you can switch once you build up another character, but I haven't even gotten to that part yet. Water is really the only element I have 5 full built characters in, but even then, I don't use Laplace that much because, again, you need a lot of debuffs for her to work, and I almost have that full debuff set on, but I just don't want to rely on Laplace for damage. Like, that just does not seem good. That's why she's been power crept to pretty much F tier. So yeah, all in all, this company has killed its own game. Eventually it may come back like E7, but it will not ever explode like E7 did. E7 was early in the market of gacha, so that's why it's still alive right now. And it's still doing pretty good, because it's an old game and people understand that it's been made pretty well. Is it feasible now? No. Why do you think everyone who did fucking free-to-play accounts for the first 2 months after Dislight started shitting on everybody, like Zoxus-kun or Daddy Free-to-Play, just like random people who went back to E7 to try and restart their free-to-play accounts? Yeah, they were getting views, but did it matter? No, because it was still going to take them a year or 2 to be anywhere near the current players that they were trying to get to. But by the time they reach that level, those players will already be far and above beyond because they've been playing for that much longer. So, Smilegate is doing the same thing that the gacha system has been doing for a while, which is oversaturating their gacha system, their gachapon, pretty much their pools. Every gacha is going to have this problem, and unless they start fucking fixing it, every gacha will eventually die. And if that's the case, I don't feel the need to play any gacha. I know people are gonna be like, oh, you're just being very negative. No, I'm being factual. I'm being not a sheep. I'm being not a prisoner to my own emotions and, stimulus. Because that's what you are if you think that gacha games are good. You are a gambling addict because you love pulling. You are a collection addict because you love collecting characters. And you're just a gaming addict overall because there's a lot of repetitive stuff in gacha games and you still do it. So, yeah, in order to get away from that, I pretty much just have to stop playing bad gachas. And this is 100% topping my list as one of the bad gachas. It is pretty much up there with Dislight in terms of the company itself. The game itself is a little bit more playable than Dislight in my opinion. Yeah, Dislight is definitely a lot more pay to win, but this game is not much better. I think that's going to do it for the video. Thank you all for watching as always. AOG Gaming here. If you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe. Really shows your support. Helps me out, keeps sustaining my content. 205 subscribers this time check, so y'all are amazing. Keep going. Yeah, I really don't... I can't say anything good about this game. Like, really, that update is just bringing this game back to okay instead of horrible. But it's not really fixing the game. It's just making late game content a little bit easier. But that doesn't really help for any new players, right? And that was really my main problem with the game. Late game is not a problem. I am okay with late game. The problem is early game. Early game is atrocious, predatory, and just takes way too long. So, yeah, I haven't been playing for a year. I don't have every character. I almost have every character. So, you could say that it's a fine gacha, but it's not a good gacha. And in that terms, this game will die because it's not evolving with the gacha market. It's staying stagnant and trying to do the same malpractices that every other gacha has done in the past, which, as we can see, is not working anymore. So to that Smilegate, I say, fire your fucking marketers because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. That is 100% true in every way, shape, and fucking form. Whoever your marketers are, fire them. Whoever your shareholders are, don't listen to them. They want money? Figure out your own way, because whatever they are thinking, they do not know what the fuck they're doing. Every shareholder and every owner of gaming company does not know what they're doing, unless they themselves play the game avidly every day like their average user would. Right? They themselves do not know how to run a fucking gaming company. All they know how to do is run a company. And that is not the same thing as a gaming company, because a gaming company is 100% dependent on its product for income. Companies have services, they have multiple products, they have all this stuff. A gaming company usually has, they have multiple products, but the games themselves are the product. And usually a company will launch with one game that will be their main product. And if that main product does not sell, their entire company is done for. And why it doesn't sell does not vary. It's the exact same fucking thing. Live servers, predatory, battle pass mechanics. Microtransaction hell. Bugs that are completely just devastating the game. Unbalancing issues that don't matter for people who are paying money because things like that. Or it does matter, but they don't really care. So, yeah. I mean, we've gotten to the point where, again, the gaming industry will just completely crash. Like I said, every gacha gaming, or every company that has an anime IP is releasing a gacha game. I already predicted it, right? I predicted it fucking last year. I said, it's been happening, it's going to continue to happen, and before any other game that comes out like Idol Awakening, which was pretty much every anime game put into one, before that game comes out, they are going to milk you dry of your money for every other fucking IP. So what I say is, don't play those IP games. If you really love the anime that much, just watch the fucking anime. Don't follow any single IP games because they will literally just take your money. And then eventually the game will die and you'll be left with nothing. It's the same thing that all these AAA companies are trying to do. You own a nothing. You simply have a status that you keep for a while, and your status is depending on how much money you are pouring into the game, or your luck sometimes. And then the rest of it is based on, well, it doesn't even matter how good you are at the game, right? If you have everything maxed out, like, you just beat the game because you beat the game, right? With money. So, yeah. Goodbye, Outerplane. Smilegate, the only way you can make me come is if in your next update, the next character you release. If you release 2, that's fine. The one character you release, if it's a male character. If you do that, I will come back to playing this game. For now, I think I am just going to quit this game completely. Like, there's nothing in it for me. I was doing it for you all because I saw that you were at least watching the videos, right? That's mostly why I end up posting on games long term, is because people are watching the videos and they're actually interested in what I'm posting on. I won't continue posting if I just get literally no views. Sometimes I do because I enjoy the game and it's fun. But for some games, like if I just end up getting no views for a couple of weeks, or like, you know, after posting for a while and there's no views for like 5 or 6 videos, I'm like, there's no point in doing this game. People aren't interested in the content I'm making, or they're just not interested in the game in general. So, yeah. Well, that's gonna do it. Thank you all for watching as always. I encourage you to quit the game. It's pretty much just dead. Like, there's no ice holding it up. It's straight in the bottom of the lake at this point. And it has weights tied onto it. Chained weights. And the only way those chained weights can be taken off so that it at least gets one fresh breath of air before it goes back on the water is if it releases male characters. It reverses the whole pity ticket system it did, because this is another thing ruining the game, right? This double ticket currency thing. Just get rid of the fake tickets and just replace all the fake tickets that you pretty much replace the real tickets with back to real tickets that give us actual pity. Because until you do that, this has got to be one of the worst fucking gacha systems I've ever seen. 100%. It doesn't matter what your chances are. It is just a shitty system. It is a shitty system. Most gacha systems are, but hey, at least in fucking Wuthering Waves, I get pity within 50 or 80 draws instead of fucking 200. And even then, when I do some of the draws, they don't give you pity back. Every fucking draw I do in that game gives me pity. In this game, it doesn't matter. You could have tickets with pity. If you end up spending some ether and then some tickets that don't give you pity, well, the ether that you spent just went to waste because it doesn't go towards your pity. It only goes towards your pity when you spend pure ether, or you have tickets that give you pity plus ether. So again, they pretty much made it so that you're screwed over unless you're paying money, because that's really the only way to get the real tickets that give you pity. So, fuck you, Smilegate. I really hope this game dies. It was great while it lasted, right? But I really can't say anything but negative about this game now, because Smilegate isn't doing anything. They literally are doing the bare minimum. And if that's what they're going to do, then I'm out. Dislight did the same thing. And as we saw, they didn't just do the bare minimum. They continued to do it. And then they ended up making the game even worse. So I already see the writing on the wall. If fucking Smilegate's going to do the same thing and just try and make this a cash cow for the last seconds that they can, I'm out. Fuck Smilegate. Fuck this game. It was free to play, friendly while it lasted. Now it's just pay to win. Ta-ta.